Malibu Madness has returned. So let me see if I can go ahead and get it out of its grave. First by removing this. Then before we pull it in the shed, we're gonna obviously wash it off because it's disgusting and I don't really feel like touching it. But I have no choice right now but to touch it so I can get it going. Unfortunately, the alternator, I don't know, either the alternator is shot, but it can't be shot because that's a brand spanking new alternator I just bought. So I'm thinking just the battery just might be gone in it. So either way, doesn't matter. We'll get it taken care of. I'm going to get these little beady balls, whatever you call these things, here out the way. Put the booster pack on, and we're going to do it just like we drove down the highway when we first got this car here. We drove down the highway. I ain't got no footage of that, but I promise you we did. Drove down the highway with a booster box hanging off the side of the car, and it made it. And that was probably the reason why this car is in the condition it is now, because I made a stupid bet. That's a long story that I do not feel like going through. So till then, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing in the shed. Well, cleaned up then in the shed. Looks rougher than I remember. Definitely rougher than I remember. All right, YouTube. So it's been a minute since I sat down at this vicinity right here. It's been a minute since I sit here like this. It's probably been well over 2 to 3 years since I, sat just like this here when I did the first video, the actual first video of the YouTube channel there. Tell you what, it might have been about 2 years ago, I want to say. 2 years ago, the very first YouTube channel, YouTube video of this channel here. I said Chevy Malibu SS Maddness. It was something along the lines of that there. But this is kind of exciting here. We're going back digging up an old project that a lot of people, well, matter of fact, a lot of my new subscribers have no idea about. Some of my OGs from the olden days, from the very first, at the beginning, they remember this project here because it was by far probably the worst video I ever made on YouTube. One of the worst. It was the very first at that. But so right now we're just gonna go ahead and we got the introduction, just got people to see what this car is. It's a 2010 Chevy Malibu. Got a 3.5 in it. That's the only reason I'm trying to save this car here. It got in a wreck, but I wound up fixing the wreck portion of it. I didn't fix the wreck portion of it on camera. I did it off camera. Wound up having all this cut out right here. I might actually see if I can put some pictures somehow in the video. See if I can get some pictures in there. And like I said, it somewhat came a long way, at least as far as the wreck wise. Got new fenders, well, new used fenders. It's got a new radiator support, got it welded in. It X'd out perfect, so by far everything at the front end is spot on perfect as far as structure wise it's back strong and it's back to factory specs. It just looks ugly. But what happened with this motor is it's a 3.5, so it's like I said, it's out of a Chevy Impala. Like I said, the motor, like I said, not this motor here in general, but like I said, a Chevy 3.5 from the factory. This is factory here. Nothing is rigged up, nothing is modified, or nothing. This came out the factory. So it's a 3.5. Otherwise, you got the little 2.4 inline 4-cylinder for the Chevy Malibu around this year model, and you have the 3.6 model. But a lot of people don't know about the 3.5, and I believe it's out of a fleet vehicle or fleet line, whatever you want to call it there. So the main thing is what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, well, back it up. So the first, the video we had done on here, I was trying to get this thing running, cranking pretty good there. And I thought it was going to be the intake gaskets that was leaking the water and stuff, that was leaking water. And I was so hoping and praying that it wasn't the head gaskets. It was the head gaskets. Well, so we assumed. So I wind up just going ahead and just parking the car up under the tree, obviously, because it was dirtier with the first introduction video, but now it's a little bit cleaner. Enough for me to touch it. I didn't even want to touch the car at this point in time. We just wound up parking it over there, got 66 in, and the rest is history. So now we're just rolling back to Chevy Malibu Maddness. I got another project. That video might be up before this one here. So right now it's kind of a grace period where I can actually kind of pull the car in and work on it a little bit. Like I said, the main thing is we're gonna go ahead, take back off what you saw me do in that other video, take the intake off. Shouldn't be no problem, shouldn't be. But this time we're gonna go even further. So instead of the intake, we're gonna go ahead and take the heads off and hoping that's gonna be the issue, the heads. And if it is, I got the head gasket kit and all that stuff that I need. And we're gonna fix it. Originally I had plans for a turbo or some sort of power adder. But at the end of the day, this car is gonna be for sale anyway. That was going to be the plan at first, go ahead and just get the power adder on there. I even found out where I'm gonna put the turbo in. But just for sale purposes only, and just the area I live in, it's not gonna be really good for, sellability wise, if that's even a word. And so we're gonna go ahead and just leave it stock as possible. And if the people or the person, let me put it like that, if the person that wants to buy it, if they want to buy it, and if they want to add some stuff to it, we can add stuff to it. We can probably make more money off of that right there. But really, I would love to have put a turbo on it, especially I done found the place where I believe that turbo is going to work. But it's just a what if. And if the car don't sell, we might still put a turbo on it. It just depends on how long I have the car. If it sells quickly, good. I'll just have some money in my pocket and the car out of my hair. But if not, I ain't got much hair anyway to begin with. But if I keep the car long enough, I might go ahead and throw the turbo on just for funs and giggles and see what this car can do. I already know the transmission is not going to hold it anyway. It's going to blow up probably the first burnout I try to do with that turbo. And so I probably might, if I turbo it, kind of search my options wise, see, what kind of transmissions they got and all that stuff that can hold the power. But till then, enough talking. I've probably talked long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and see if we just go ahead and yank this intake off. Let's just see, first thing first, kind of clean the engine bay up a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and yank the intake off. I might go ahead and crank it up one more time just to listen to it, because maybe it might be a minute before I hear it again to crank up. Or I might say forget it and just go ahead and take it apart and just get started with it. So. This right here is a very important step right here. Just to release the gas in the fuel rail, just find a little straighter valve and get like a little napkin or something like that, like a blue shop rag, and just push that little valve release in there. So that way, one, you got the rag, so it won't let the gas shoot up in your face. But that's just a quick tip right there. So next up here, to get that upper intake off, it's kind of a weird design, but what it is you need to somehow get that alternator. It's like a bolt that goes through that holds the bottom of it. It's like a bracket. It'll keep you from getting that intake off, so you will have to get that alternator out the way to get the upper intake off. And this main thing is right here. I just got the belt out the way. I'm just trying to find my bolts that actually fit in there, but it's kind of weird though. It's a bracket. You can do all the unbolting you want to. At the end of the day, you have to remove that bracket to get that upper intake off. It's the only way it'll come off. You saw a second ago those upper intake gaskets. I replaced those last time, so if you're wondering why they look pretty new, that's why. In the very first video I did of this Malibu, that was the thing I replaced. And I actually replaced the lower intake as well too, lower intake gaskets. So right now I'm still just trying to work with that alternator, get it out the way. And so it's got a couple long bolts here and there, so now I'm just wiggling it loose. And I remember that coil, the ignition coil pack, was pretty much a pain because there's a couple bolts behind it that you got to kind of reach over and had to get with a wrench or something like that there. But yes, I remember this though. Like I said, this is my very first video, somewhat sped up. Then next you gotta remove the power steering pump. Just put the socket through those little spokes, and you can get all three of them bolts there and just set it to the side. You ain't gotta disconnect it, nothing. Just set it to the side like so. And so now I'm going ahead and knocking these bolts out of here on the lower intake manifold. Now there is a trick to this one here. There's two of them. I want to say 2 bolts. You will have to get a little small wrench like so, just to get those out the way, because the angle of them bolts there, you will not get a socket in there, so you have no choice but to use the old-fashioned wrench. And I believe I also forgot too, I had to take the valve covers off just to get that out the way, because somehow, strange enough, this car got the same kind of design, somewhat like a FE. I want to say with a valve cover, like half of the intake is on under the valve cover or something like that there.
but I had to wind up taking both valve covers off just to, well, no, actually, I think I just took one valve cover off just to loosen it up some. This right here, what I did was I loosened the mount so that way I have easier access to those. It's a crossover pipe, somewhat like that. It's some kind of crossover pipe. This is also a notorious area where these it's the gaskets around the back of this here. It's a notorious place where these gaskets fail and you have a coolant leak right there. They look like a triangle kind of chrome, well, triangle aluminum looking, look like aluminum triangles, and they got the little gaskets around there. But it's some kind of like water jacket though. So those, like I said again, they're notorious for wearing out and causing water leaks. But I had to move that bracket just enough so I can get some room, and then I'll eventually be able to pull this intake off. Man, look at this mess here. It's look like one of them Starbucks mocha lattes. Here's the silicone little gaskets I put on the last time. These little end things. I thought that was the problem last time. That's junk. But like I said, I thought that was a problem last time here. So I was here last time here. So the only thing is I didn't go. This is as far as I went last time, and it's not good right now. So now we're gonna go ahead and try to go ahead and get these manifolds off here. It's gonna be a little rough. Like I said, main thing is I just kind of was worried about the boats breaking. So I'll just make sure I was extra careful with this here, because they will break on you. So just beware and be cautious. How to get these gaskets off here? I had to actually remove the rocker arms so I can remove the push rods. Like I said again, this engine's got some weird designs here and there, but like I said, it is what it is. You gotta go through it. So now I'm zipping the head bolts off now. Oh, look at that. Look at that right there. Off with your head. So right now, like, the inspection is good on the front head up here. It's not bad. So it's not this gasket here. And then second of all, another top tip as well. If you got a head gasket that's blown, and if you got the camera looking, how you can find if the head gasket is blown or not. And so hold on real quick here, I'm finna point to you here. So this is the back head gasket, and I'm just showing you all right here, and this is my discovery. Oh, a blown head gasket. But this right here makes me a little worried though. But right now, success. We found the culprit. So I believe it's a head gasket now. But anyway, to tell a head gasket is if you put that camera in there, if the pistons is clean, that's where your water leak is, or your head gasket is blown in, because it's steam clean in the engine. If I get the camera a little closer, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Look at how dirty these pistons are here. 1, 2, 3, and then look back here. If I would go further on, you can see the clean pistons. There we go. I must have heard myself. Those pistons look a lot cleaner than that one there. So that's where that water leak was happening at right there, or that head gasket. This is me just using my little engine cleaner. I was gonna go ahead and clean the engine up really nice and just get it looking pretty, and then get back to putting the head gaskets on. But I tell you what, I just gotta be honest, we found a discovery, and you'll see in just a second. You'll see what I mean. I was cleaning the engine and I rubbed my hand across the pistons. I saw the scaling, and look at what I found. That little crack right there goes between that cylinder and that cylinder, and start on this other cylinder over here. So like the project has been stalled for right now, but this is just a short video of the revival of the Malibu Maddness. I hope you like the content. Please like, comment, subscribe, and please share the video. I really appreciate your support. Until then, stay busy and have fun.